Okay, today I am here with Ed Mercer, and Ed is a photographer and has a photography website, and he is going to give us some basics on photography and tell us about his site. So, hi Ed, thanks for joining me.
Hi, Eileen. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great. So I gave the sort of quick version. Why don't you give us a little bit more of an introduction to Ed Mercer and who you are and what you do?
Okay, well, my name is Ed Mercer, like you said. All right, and I'm a professional photographer for over 30 years. I used to have a photography studio down in Danvers, Massachusetts, which is kind of a little north of your neck of the woods, but down that area anyways. And I've run that studio with my wife, Susan. And now we live up in Maine, in the Lakes region area, where I still do some photography work, but now mostly I have a stock photography site, which is what we're going to be talking about today. But I do a lot of real estate photography up here, and I'm a little bit of a web designer. I use the Divi themes to build all my own websites with. And it's a wonderful theme, and I've been doing that since 2009. Not the Divi theme, the elegant themes. So it's a great theme to use, and it's made life a lot easier for me. I've used Optimized Press and Profit Builder and every other kind of thing along the way, and they all get obsolete. And yours is pretty stable, or I'm not sure if it's necessarily Nick Roach, I think it is, but whoever, it's wonderful. But anyways, I am a photographer. I have a stock photography site, and my wife is in charge of the Chamber of Commerce up here, so she has me doing a little bit of web design for her too. But, I'm not anything like you or your group of people that do things.
Well, I don't know about that. We've got a huge range of talents and capabilities, so I think you're probably right in there with the rest of us, sort of having our little special thing that we like or really good at, and then relying on others in the group or looking for advice. So, I think we're a tribe of togetherness here, figuring it out. So because, you're like trapped here with me online in the interview seat, can I pick your brain a little bit about photography?
Please do. There's not much I know about, but I know about photography. So
Okay,
go for it.
So as a web designer, or for the web designers out there that are tasked with finding images, what are some things that you can suggest? I mean, photos instantly, for me, make a website. They can make it look like, ugh, I got to get out of here, or this site just is so beautiful. So, like, what are some tips, maybe even when you're working with a screen, that designers should keep in mind when choosing an image?
Well, you kind of hit the nail on the head there, Eileen. When you go to a lot of websites, a lot of people, they don't pay attention to the quality of the photographs. You see a lot of underexposed photographs. You see a lot of overexposed photographs. You see the composition all over the place. And even if you're I guess connoisseur is not the right word, but even if you're just someone who knows how to look at pictures or what a good picture is, you can see bad photography right away. And it's bad for your branding, it's bad for your image, it's bad for your customers' products, you name it. You want good photography, just like you want good copywriting. You want everything to present itself the best for you. And, visual in photography is certainly one of the most important things.
Right. Last year, I took my girls up to the Apple store in Boston. They had the folks from Unsplash in, and they were giving us some tips on, how to take interesting pictures, and they were sharing the apps for editing, so do you do any editing of your images, or what's your sort of post process once you've taken an image?
Yeah, I edit everything. I mean, as soon as I get back from a shoot, in case anybody's interested, any of your tech people out there, I use Nikon D800, which is a 36 megapixel camera, so it's very high resolution. And whenever I go out on a shoot, I immediately come back. I put all the images, I download them all into Lightroom, All right, and then I do a quick edit of all of them, and then I do my selects, and then the ones that I select, I will do, I'll bring them into Photoshop. And I use the online version of Photoshop for $9.95 a month so that I'm always up to date on the version of Photoshop and things like that. And then I have all kinds of plug-in filters. I have the Nik filters, on-one filters. I do HDR photography. And they're all ways of taking one photograph and making 100 different variations of it. And it's like I say, a lot of times photographs straight out of the camera, they just don't look so great, in my point of view. Anyways, I think they all need a little bit of editing. Just 30 seconds of editing on any one image makes an incredible difference, because even a well-exposed photograph, the highlight areas and the shadow areas are a little light on the highlights, a little dark on the on the shadows. So you can fix all those, bring them out, and make them just beautiful. So yeah, I use them, and even like when I use my iPhone, I have an iPhone, and sometimes the best camera you have is the camera you get with you, and sometimes it's my iPhone, and those are like 12 megapixels now, so they're a pretty good quality picture, and they have a lot of built-in filters right into it that you can fix things up with. But you can also, with Wi-Fi, transfer them over into Lightroom and do the editing that I like to do with it. So I don't know if that's a whole lot more of an answer that you wanted, but yeah, I edit everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just, I think everybody should touch them up a little bit, because it makes a huge difference, even just the little bit of sharpening that you can do with it.
So the images on your website, would a web designer download them and compress them, or do you do that in Photoshop already?
Okay, all my images are JPEG images. Okay, so that they can, just grab them. They're all 1800 by 1200. Okay, so plenty big enough for them to do anything that they want on the web, whether it be for headers or, they're full size. Everything is, high enough resolution. It looks perfect on, I have a 24-inch Mac that I do here. So, I mean, no matter what you want to do, whether it's just images, obviously thumbnails are just little things you put on there, or if you have a big full-length header that they're going to run across there, then it's going to look sharp, exposed properly, and it's going to look really nice. It'll stand out, from most things, because, like I say, there's not many things I do, but I've been doing that all my life, so I got that down pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a perfect size, because it drives me sort of nuts. You download something and it's 5,000 pixels wide, and then sometimes you don't have, the height is too big, way too big, and then cropping it becomes an issue. It's just like, I don't need all that, so.
Well, plus it takes up all that space on your computer too, you know what I mean? So it's nice to like say the on my website here, Prima Stock Photos or PicZone, as how it's presented itself, you can just go in there and put 30 some images into a light box instead of loading them all onto your desktop and having everything drag on you. You just pick the things that you need, bring them in there, and make your edits, and then just if you want to use the URL feature that we have in there, like we talked about later, you can use that. Or if you just download the images to the ones you need on your desktop, then you make whatever edits you need to for however you want to add them into your website or your client's websites.
Right. So tell me a little bit about how you get the pictures, and then we'll talk a bit about the site.
All right. Well, like I say, I usually will be going out. I get hired, like say, I don't know if I told you, because we talked a little bit beforehand, that my wife is in charge of the Chamber of Commerce up here. So a lot of times her clients will hire me to come out and take photographs of different types of services that they do. And and a lot of people that do websites and things like that, they're looking for photographs of people that do services, people that might be an auto body mechanic, or people that might, work on hardwood floors, or you get the picture. So I have different pictures like that. I in my stock photo site, like I'm small, I only have 10,000 images, but I add a couple hundred every month. Yeah. So like I say, I will go out, I will photograph, 500 to 1,000 pictures, and usually edit that down to about 100 that I'll upload onto the site after each time when I come in. Now, also another cool thing, and little bit of payback. I don't know if you have children or not, but I have 3 boys, okay? And one of them works for the airlines. So my wife and I, we get to travel wherever we want for free.
Wow.
And that's a beautiful thing. Like we go to the Grand Canyon. You know, I went to Alberta, Canada, and photographed Banff and Hawaii. We go to all these places. And, you know, it isn't free to stay at the hotels, but, you know, they get deals for that too. So you get the idea. So we get to go all these great places. And like I said, I love photography, so I always overshoot and come back with all kinds of pictures. I think on the site, you see, like, when I was up at Banff, I took over 4,000 pictures, and I put 636 of them online, and that place is just beautiful. And scenics are always great, no matter what, for what you want to do on your websites for different things.
Right, right. Well, the sort of amazing thing about that is when you have so many, then you can pick, you know, if you're designing a website, you can pick a bunch that have a consistent feel. Because if you're just sort of shooting on the dark with Unsplash or doing Google searching, you know, just for different images, you could have different photographers, different lighting, different everything, and then your site looks like, you know, an art and craft project that you piece together. Where here, if you're doing a travel website, or maybe you're doing it for a client, or you're piecing together a spec, then all the images have a nice consistent feel, which I think is important because it makes the site feel a lot more like well thought out and organized.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's kind of a composition of color type of thing, or like
Right.
exposure beforehand. I mean, it doesn't look like, you know, one person did an overexposed or a bunch of black and white, you know, high key type photographs of the same area you're at, like just say Canada, for instance, and then, you know, they grabbed another one on Google because they did a search for Google images, and then, like you say, some people overexposed, some people underexposed, and I assume that your people, they probably do some photo editing anyways, but they probably just want to grab the images and get on to what it is that they're really good at.
Right.
So that's a good thing. And cost-wise, too, I mean, when we get into the pricing of the site, I mean, if you've ever gone on, aside from just getting the pictures from Google, if you go on to, you know, iStock Photo or any of those sites where you're going to buy a stock photo, I mean, you know, boy, they're very expensive. I mean, they're, you know, $10 to $100 a piece with limited licenses. My site, we're small, so we're just starting out at a very easy range with very liberal licensing terms. So we you know, you can pretty much do what you want with those pictures. You know, you can't go back and sell them as your own. I mean, there's only a couple things you can't do, but other than that, if you put them on shirts or you want to put them on a mug, you know, or you're putting them on your client's sites. A lot of times, like when you buy pictures from some of the, you know, stock photo houses and things like that, you can only do so much with them, and it's a pain trying to figure out what that license is for. You know, as a webmaster, or web developer, it's nice to know that you can just, you know, take the pictures and do what you want with them.
Right.
You know? Right. So that's a convenience type of a thing on our site.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that's nice about your site is that it's not the size of some of the others, so the images won't be seen already by a million people.
That's correct. That's correct. Like I say, we're adding new stuff all the time. I mean, they are too, you know, and like I say, so they have an advantage because, I mean, if they're going to have things that you might be looking for that I don't have. But for the price that they're going to be grabbing this for, I mean, you know, they get one picture and they've more than paid to go for it another place, and they can go in here all the time and grab pictures. And like I say, I mean, you don't like to toot our own horn, but, you know, this is what I love. This is what we've done, and I think they'll find that all the pictures are, if they fit into their need, they're of great quality. And, I also, I don't know if you're going to ask this question, but I'll throw this out there anyways. I now have a PLR category where I go in there and I add public domain photographs, and I buy rights to a lot of PLR things where I can resell them. So there's one category in there called PLR that, I'm always adding new things for too. So that if people buy, and sometimes they say, boy, I wish you had some of these in there. If they just, send me an email or something like that, I try to get some images that they ask for within reason,
right.
Over a period of time. So that's kind of yes to that one.
Do you want to show us your site?
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be great.
Let's just be patient with me. Make sure I remember how to do the sharing here.
No problem.
So let's move a couple of things here. All right, yeah, let me get these screens shared up here. Excuse me, everybody, for moving things all around here.
Yeah, no worries. Here we go.
Zoom, but it's a little different. Okay, so let's go to the home part of it. Okay, so this is my site. It's premium stock photos, but back when I started this site in 2011, I bought, this domain up here called pixzone.com, which, I wanted it to represent Picture Zone. But I know it's easy to remember like a 4 or 5 letter domain, so that was my thinking at the time. And it's been out there for a long time, and then different people have told me along the way, you should kind of tell them a little bit about things like that. So I named it Premium Stock Photos, in my sales letters. The domains are Premium Stock Photos, but it brings you over here. Pixzone and Premium Stock Photos are the same thing.
Okay.
All right. And as you see here, up across the top here, all the people's pictures. I have lots of people pictures, but the ones that I do have here, they all are signed model releases. All right, so you don't have to worry about that. You can use them and you don't have to worry about it. I have them on here and here. All right, and then if you, when you want to go in and find a particular category, you can click right here and go down to categories. And then there's all kinds of, I'll just click on air shows here because it's the first one that's close by. All right, and then on the right-hand side, there'll be all kinds of other categories. So if you wanted to see Florida pictures, you can click here, and it would, show you a bunch of different pictures of Florida. Or like I told you, the Canada pictures, you can click here, and it would show you lots of pictures of Canada. So you kind of get the idea. Whatever you start off up here in the gallery area from categories, and then it populates here on the right, and you can look at some of the different things. You can also just type in a keyword here, and the keywording is pretty basic. It might not be as good as you want, but it'll most of the time, if you're looking for California, it'll put all those particular ones in there for it.
Right.
And then when you want to, when you see an image that you like, and then you can just click on the image. All right, it makes it a little bigger for you. All right, and then you can, there's a couple of ways of doing things here before you get into buying anything or anything. Like up here, some of these things here, if you wanted to show a client, one of the pictures that you're thinking of putting onto the website, then you can just click here and email it to them right from here if you want. Now, obviously you can just do an email and attach the image to it after you download too, but that's just, one of the features that you can do. Let's get into here again. Okay, another thing you can do is this little link feature here. You can click on that, and then you can also, if you don't want to download and you just want to send a URL that might just show a thumbnail, then this is you can send this and put this into an email with the URL on it for the thumbnail, underneath the URL for the media itself, and then the third URL down below here brings you right to this particular page right here, so that they can look and see maybe there's some other things that they may want to look at in that particular category.
Okay.
And then there's some share buttons, and there's some download buttons and everything else. And like I say, when you go to buy things, you can, let's see, you have download unlimited images for a year. So we want to click into products. And when you first get into here, you're going to click for a year. You're going to continue. All right, and then we're going to put in our code. Okay. Click here, and you start zeroed out to 365. We're going to complete the order.
And how does somebody get the code?
After they, I'll show the sales page here in a minute. After they purchase on the sales page, I send them to, they'll get an email that has a thank you page on it, and it has the code there. But usually what I do now, last time I offered this out, someone had gotten a hold of the new customer PHP script of it. So what I do now is I usually just, have the people send me what they want for username and password, and I immediately send that right out to them.
Okay.
Okay, and what I do is I have a coder right now building a capture feature to go in there, so I don't have to do that all the time. But for right now, that's how that's working.
Right. So once you sign up, you have access to whatever you want for a year?
That's correct. You can download as many as you want.
Yeah. Oh, can we see Christmas lights?
You can.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, so there's these Christmas lights. And,
it's really fun. I love Christmas lights. Look at that. Oh, my goodness.
Plenty of Christmas lights.
Okay.
And then
doors. That's a good one. I like that.
Doors, yep. And then this one, I went up to Las Vegas. My wife likes to do slot machines, but I like to go into all the casinos because they have these beautiful decorations.
Wow.
So those. And then the doors, where'd you see the doors? Here they are right here. Okay, so, I have the different doors. Actually, a lot of these doors that I did down in Rockport, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Sure.
I have to get down your way, down the Cape, and get some down there too, because they have the beautiful weathered, doors and things.
Right, right. Those are great. I like that, like fishing shack with the anchor there.
Yeah, well, like I say, these cozy little places like you have down in the Cape. They're amazing, and they're cool little entrance ways if you want to use that kind of segue into one of your web pages or something like that. I've done that before.
Right.
And I've traveled to a lot of places. I've got, Italy in here with the Amalfi Coast and a lot of locations. There's Rome in there. But I'm not going to go through all of these, make people watch my vacation photos.
I love it. I could watch all day. So thank you for sharing.
And there's just your question that you asked before. Now let me just get onto my screen. I got to lower this down a little bit and get back on here. So are you seeing the sales page? Did it stay on there? Do I have to set another one?
I see it.
Okay, good. So after, when you give the people the link, when you send this out later on, they'll be brought to this page. And just so everybody knows, I did this with the Divi theme. I built this with the Divi theme. So, and then they would just, when they click on one of these buy buttons, it will take them to that thank you page. And then they will just send me, what they want for username and password. I'll immediately send them access to that page, and on that page it has 3 videos that shows them how to do everything.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
So it's $27 for a year?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's outstanding.
Yeah, it sure is. And like I say, I'm just doing that for a period of time until I build it up to a certain point. And then that'll change. But for now, it doesn't make a difference. That's where it's at. So, and this explains all the licensing terms in it. It explains, some frequently asked questions down here. And then, if those questions aren't answered, they can always get in touch with me at replytoed@gmail.com.
Okay.
Now, I know a lot of people that are webmasters. They say, why don't you have reply to ed or ed at replytoed.com? And it's easier for me working with Gmail, but I do have all of those.
I know. I think that now Gmail is just so accepted that it's not a big deal like it used to be not to have your email on a hosted domain. So I've seen that one sort of come around. It's not like you're on a Yahoo.
Well, that's good. I just want to let people Well, no, because I know that you have a lot of web developers and things like that.
Yeah.
I think, well, maybe this guy fly by night using a Gmail or a free account, but I like the calendar feature better. I like a lot of the things I can work with better. And I've gone in and I'm used to working in the cPanel of my hosted account. All this is hosted on Liquid Web. I have a dedicated server, by the way. So if there ever is a problem, and I think as well as anybody, there's always a problem. They're wonderful because you can call them right up and you can talk to a person and they fix any features.
Yeah.
Problems you have right away. So anyone that uses Liquid Web, they know that they're a real good group to work with.
Oh, that's good to know. When I'm stuck, I want a human.
I do too. And like I say, you talk to them and they fix it for you and they do it right away. They're really, I don't affiliate with them or anything else. I've been through the ringer with a lot of people over the years and finally get someone, like you say, it's good to have a human to talk to and one that knows what he's talking about, that isn't from a foreign country.
Yeah, that's great. So before we wrap up, do you have a favorite picture?
Oh gosh, no, well, I do a lot of them. They're not on here right now. I do a lot of pictures of lighthouses. I don't know if you're familiar up here. They have a place called Portland Head Lighthouse. And I just took a great picture over there. I take a lot of really nice pictures over there. Let me see if I can find that in my the one that I really liked that I just took. They had that big super moon.
Oh, yes.
And I went over there and took it with Portland Head Lighthouse. Well, let me just see if I can.
Yeah, we went down and we watched the supermoon rise. Was that September or October? Maybe October.
It was October.
October, yeah. We went and watched it. It was like just spectacular. We watched it come up over the water. It's so pretty.
Okay, so here's some of the lighthouses here. So this is Portland Head Lighthouse.
Oh, nice. I love Lighthouse.
I do too. Like I said, you got a lot of great ones down your way too, so I got to get down there. But anyway, this one was, right when the sun was starting to set, and there was a big, and the moon was right over here. It was a beautiful shot. I haven't uploaded that onto here yet, but probably around the 15th of the month, I uploaded a bunch of new ones.
Okay.
So the next week I'll be uploading more of them. But I like doing that, and I do something called HDR photography. Here's some HDR ones down here. Okay, so if you can see, they're pretty crunchy photographs where they really grab all the detail and everything. So I do a lot of that, and I enjoy doing that. That's where you go out and you pick a location and the camera takes 3, 5, 7, or 9 photographs of it, and it lets you bring out all the detail in the highlights and all the detail in the shadow, and there's all kinds of ways of manipulating it, so it's a pretty beautiful thing. So that's something that I like to do.
Yeah, no. And what's your favorite? Do you like shooting, like the clouds here are spectacular? Do you prefer a clear day or shooting at dusk, or do you have a preference?
Well, I like doing all kinds of things. Obviously, this is really a cool thing with the clouds and everything. But another thing that I'll do sometimes is I'll go out to the lighthouses or even a scene where it's a perfectly blue sky. And I don't know if you know what green screen is.
Yeah.
Okay, well, a green screen or blue screen, a lot of times I can take, and if the sky is perfectly blue, I'll go in there, drop it into my editing software, and I can drop a sunset into where the blue sky was, or I can drop a different, a set of cloud formations into it. You know what I mean? And the software is so good, you'd never know that I did it. I have some green screen stuff in here, but I think they're just models, the green screen stuff that I have in here. I think with this girl, Michaela here, I did a lot of modeling pieces. Okay, so you see with the green screen here where I had her do a lot of things with iPads and cameras and video cameras, so that I can take and just drop that green screen out and put anything in there that I want. So I'm sure that some of your people also do that.
Right, that's a good idea.
So, but that's what I like to do. I like to, do everything. Obviously, I love to travel. You know, that's a nice perk that my son has given back to me after all the things that we did with them as they were young. So,
yeah, I'm gonna have to put the notice out to my children.
yeah,
Like this is the what Ed is getting. What do I get?
yeah.
They're all still heavily on the payroll. I need to get them off.
Yeah, I'm going to eventually too, and I'll let you know as soon as I do, Eileen. I'm working on it right now. That'll be, show how to do the editing with it's primarily going to be showing the Photoshop and all the plugins and everything, because then I'm on the same page with everything. But it's going to have a couple of the free ones on there, like PicMonkey and Pixlr and stuff like that. So that some of your folks can go in there and do some of the basic things that they want to do.
So let me clarify. Like, let's say we take one of these pictures of Michaela in front of the computer screen. You'll show them in PicMonkey how to get their website on her screen and a background, so she's in a library or an office or.
Well, the green screen stuff will be more. I'll have to show them how to do that with Photoshop.
Okay.
There's, you might have some people that know how to do it with PicMonkey or Pixlr or things like that. I don't work with them, except that a lot of people have asked me, so I've gone in there and there's some fun things you can do with it. So I have like 50 or 60 videos that I've done of it that I'm going to put together on a site, and another 75 that I have of Photoshop, and then I'm going to do live things like you and I are doing here, where people come in and ask me and say, hey, I want to do this with this. How do you do it? And we'll do it right here while we're on.
Okay. That's a great service. I love that. Keep me posted.
I will.
So I appreciate this and your time very much. Is there anything that I should know?
I don't know. Let me just take a quick peek at what we talked about. And
yeah.
We did pretty good here. We went through everything, but I also copied and pasted because I forget things all the time. But I think we took care of most things. For people that do, grab the Pixel at the price right here, that's a grandfathered price. So even, when I have 2 million pictures on here, we add video and different things like that, as long as they're members, they'll always just pay $27.
Okay.
Okay, so if at some point I'm up to $197 or whatever, if they signed up, whenever they stay at that price. Okay,
that's awesome. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Thank you, Eileen, for giving me the platform here. And I think that's it, Eileen. I mean, there's probably a lot of other things, but people only want to spend so much time watching these things. So
I think this is incredible value, and the quality of your work is really great. I love it. There's so many good pictures there. So, and I love a landscape. I think that they can be used in so many situations, especially. So let's say if I wanted to buy, I've got my membership and I download one of those landscape. Could I, with your usage rights, am I able to, like, say, put that into Photoshop or PicMonkey or Canva and put an inspirational quote over it and put it on my blog? Is that?
Yes, absolutely.
As long as I don't say I'm the one who took this picture, which anybody who knows me knows I couldn't, but I couldn't get it that great.
Yeah, no, we just don't want people taking like 100 of my pictures back, putting them into a zip file, and then selling them the way I'm selling them. That's they can do personal use what they want with them. If they make a Kindle book and they want to put all the pictures and then sell the Kindle book, that's fine. If they want to make T-shirts and put it on a T-shirt, sell the T-shirts or mugs or any type of thing that you put on a photograph, and they want to do that, that's fine. Same thing with the posters with quotes on them, things like that. That's fine.
Okay,
that's well fine.
Yeah, that's a great category, and like I said, I'm a huge Unsplash fan. I went and I took that class on how to take better iPhone photos or whatever, and supporter of them. But it's so, like I said, the popular pictures are everywhere. So getting people's attention with different photos is really important, especially at that price point. You're crazy not to invest and get something custom for yourself.
Yep, I think so. And we've had, the couple of times that I put it out with the internet marketing people and stuff like that, they've scooped it up pretty quick. But now I'm looking, I want to get a certain base amount of people that do it. And then it, annually just kind of takes care of itself all the time. And then I'm going to really, go hard after it. But like I say, I had some internet marketers do it now. I think it's a good idea to do it with you. I have a lot of real estate people that are interested in it also. So, like I say, they're great photographs, and the price is right. I mean, your people know. I mean, I know you can get a lot of free pictures online at different places, Pixabay and stuff like that. But you still don't know the origin of them, and you don't want to. You get into a lot of trouble if someone says, "Yeah, well, I took that," or you go on to Google Images and get it, and it isn't right. You can get in a lot of problems. It's a $10,000 fine for each photograph that you get copyright on, and some people will go after you for it,
Right,
so.
right. Well, I had a client from my early days of designing, and he, sent me a note, this is maybe a year ago or something, saying, I need the license for this picture. And I said, oh, well, you gave me the picture. And he said, oh, no. Well, I mean, he's a really nice guy. I'm convinced that he gave me the picture. He's convinced that I gave him the picture. We couldn't figure it out. And, one of this photo places was saying, you owe us $2,000.
Yeah,
So,
it was probably Getty Images.
yeah, I mean, and it was, so, you have to be careful with grabbing stuff off the internet because you don't know. It's like the Wild West up until the point of $2,000, and then you're, kicking yourself. So
That's right. If you don't know the origin of the picture, they can say all they want, but Google doesn't take responsibility for it.
right.
Right? And if they decide they want to go after you, I mean, it's a very inconvenience, and if you're doing it for a client, it's really an inconvenience.
Right.
I mean, ours don't cover everything there is. Obviously, we're small, and sometimes you've got to go other places. But it's nice to know that if you're going to put something together and use something on our site, like I say, you're not going to see them all over the place because I'm not out there like everybody else is. And I'm here. I took all those pictures.
Right.
And then the people that are people in them, I have signed releases for them.
Great. That's awesome. All right, Ed. So we are both on the East Coast. At some point, we have to, if you're coming down this way to shoot, let me know. I'll bring you to my favorite spots.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to take you up on that too.
Okay, good.
I go down there to play golf once in a while. But I'll go down there strictly for pictures.
All right, definitely. Well, Andrew and I are both golfers, so if he's over, we'll all golf together.
Good. I'll bring my wife down. She golfs too. We'll go out in a foursome, and then we'll go to the 19th hole after.
Oh, my favorite. All right. Thank you, Ed.
Okay, Eileen. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.